Hi there. Welcome to my views and news. Thanks for joining the live chat session. Can you hear me, viewers? Thank you for responding with yes. Let me welcome the participants. Then we'll get going. It's Asavuki's interview. What did he say about Ethiopia? What did he say about an alleged alliance against Ethiopia? What did he say about Ethiopian dam, about war in Amhara, about Pretoria, about TPLF? He spoke a lot, I would say, about Ethiopia, though the part of his interview about Ethiopia was very brief. But in a very short period of time, he spoke a lot about Ethiopia. Let me welcome the participants. A13 says hello. A new name for me. A13, are you a new viewer of My Views and News? How long have you been watching My Views and News? Shafo, second viewer to comment. Shafo is a member too. Special welcome to you, Shafo. You can recognize a member by badges. Shafo has a yellow colored badge with a star in the middle. Members are given special badges if they become members. You can be a member of My Views and News by clicking the link given in description section of this video, this live chat. John Spencer, third viewer, he says, "Hi, Sajid, good to see you. And how did Isa Savuki himself today?" Okay, I'll speak on that. I have not been able to watch the entire interview. I got translations only. You know, I have to rely on translators. But I hope you'll correct me if I'm wrong. T and O joined to welcome T and O. T and O is also a member. You can see a yellow colored badge with his name. We have Arayag Georges, again a new name for me. Alula Avolum is here too. Several new viewers today I'm seeing in comment section. Teddy Tisfa here to welcome Teddy. We have Yini Musica, third member of the channel. Special welcome to you, Yini Musica. Average Dom says Fano's weapon of choice is human shields. Well, I wouldn't say that they are using human shields. But yes, they want public support. Without public support, they cannot survive. Jamal Yahya joined. Welcome, Jamal. Mulugata Shimalis joined after some time. How are you, Mulugata? Yenimusa says, I bet he did not say what he's going to do for Eritrea. Yes, that's very expected of him. He talks about each and everything except Eritrea. And when he focuses on Eritrea, there is nothing significant that he talks about. He loves talking about New World Order. He loves to talk about China, Russia, Horn of Africa, Somalia, Ethiopia, Egypt. When it comes to Eritrea, what has been his government's performance, we find him rather silent. Chafo says PIA would definitely show us how angry he is, what Ambassador South Sudan said. Uh, let's see. Has he been removed? I think he's still there, the ambassador. Alula is not new, but name change. Okay, that's good. I advised viewers they should not use their real names while commenting. Again, I would advise all the viewers don't use your real name because I know that my vision news is monitored by Ethiopian government. I don't want anyone to be in trouble. If you know, if you use any pen names, any nicknames, no one will be able to recognize you, to track you. I can assure you. Paulus joined too. John Spencer says, consistency and Isaias are not a good pair. My life joined says, what a turn of events in just a few years. The evil coalition of Isaias and Abi was broken by TDF. IA joined. Well, I won't say it was broken by TDF. No. Indirectly, maybe you can say that. Otherwise, in fact, TPLF united the two. Lula has been with my vision for 4 years. Wow, it's good to hear that. Viewers here have been for almost 5 years, 4 or 5 years. I started covering Ethiopia in 2020. So 4 years have passed. It means you are one of the first ones who joined my vision news channel. Raya has been following me. I've been following reporting about since I've been reporting about Tigray, Ethiopia war. And it's good to hear that. Eritrean Post says that he is saying that he talked a lot about Eritrea, about political reforms, economic reforms, reforms of national service to 18 months. He announced that in today's interview that the national service won't exceed 18 months. ISS Sajid, the Westerners know they would avenge their loss on Adwa, assigning a dictator over our own flesh and blood. Thank you, Araya. He says you are a source of real news. Kemal says, and always Isas used YNA as headline of his interview. What about now? Ilyas says, Isas does not talk about Eritrea because it's worst performing country in Africa. Eritrean Post says he avoided all Eritrean issues. Let's start with, let me just, Elim joined too. Let me welcome Elim. Elim is also a member of the channel. You can see a badge with his name. Are you Elim? Elim became a member on Patreon too. Several viewers are members of My Vision News on Patreon. He's the newest member on Patreon. Special welcome to you, Elim. Let me just sum up a little. Ilyas says, yes, he did speak about Eritrea. Anything significant? Question is, did he announce anything significant about it? And does he have anything to present in terms of performance, especially in economy, about Eritrea? So, Ilyas, what do you say? Elim says, are you following the new tension between Fano and the media supporters who are in fighting? I am not updated on these issues. I would like you to contact me through my Gmail, SAJID672000. Then we can discuss that in detail. Let's start with yours. Firstly, Isas Severki was interviewed today on Ere TV. He talked about Sudan, about Ethiopia, about China, Russia, etc. I will only focus on what he said about Ethiopia, about Horn of Africa, about Egypt, Somalia, keeping myself restricted to what he said about Ethiopia. Isas Afwerki criticized Ethiopian damn good. It does not make sense to me, by the way. He said that Melis said to me, Melis Zenawi, that Ethiopia would build this dam to humiliate Egypt. So this dam is not needed. Ethiopia does not need this dam. This is what he meant. Now, yes, I think the river on which this dam has been built originates from Ethiopia. People would say there is no need of building a dam. Ethiopia is not insecure in terms of water security. But doesn't Ethiopia have any right of producing hydropower? You build a dam to produce electricity. You build a dam to sell electricity. Do all Ethiopians have access to electricity? No. And hydropower is the cheapest form of electricity in the world. Why is he against this dam? Just because Malice said to him decades ago that Ethiopia would build a dam to humiliate Egypt. This dam has real benefits for Ethiopians. Even a layman can see that. He shouldn't oppose it. I mean, it was very poor of him to describe the dam as if it's not needed. Dams are needed wherever they are because dams can be used by countries for economic progress. Maybe his vision is limited about economic progress, or deliberately he is trying to undermine the building of the dam, which is an achievement for Ethiopians because the construction was opposed by the entire world. I mean, welcome, Jamaskan. Westerners, Americans, all opposed despite global opposition. Uh, Ethiopia managed to build this dam. I always say that this dam is the proof of what Ethiopians are capable of. They united largely on this issue. World opposed them, they managed to build it. No one was going to give them any loans for that. It wasn't easy, believe me, but they managed to build it. It's an achievement for them, firstly. Secondly, it has huge benefits for their economy. Why they are supposing it? I think he should behave like a mature leader. He's not an activist. He's not a journalist. He is a leader of a country. Secondly, yes, Egypt is now new Eritrean ally. It does not mean that by forming an alliance with Egypt, Eritrea can just ignore Ethiopia. Uh, it has every right to decide the nature of its relation with Ethiopia, but his talk should make some sense. I think his talk about a dam did not make any sense. That's my opinion. You can agree or disagree. Firstly, secondly, Isas Worky talked about war and nothing new. He said that it was TPLF which was prepared to wage war. Abiy asked him to talk to the Debatian. He did, but he knew that war was inevitable. It's not new. It has been Eritrean government's position for years that it was TPLF which launched war. And TPLF, by the way, disagrees. TPLF says that the war was launched by uh, federal government in alliance with Eritrean government. Second point about Ethiopia he mentioned. Thirdly, he talked about Pretoria, that Pretoria is not Eritrea's concern. It's Ethiopia's concern. And he said that those who backed Pretoria actually they instigated Ethiopia. They forced Ethiopia, or you can say they told Ethiopia to disarm groups in Amhara. And that is how war erupted in Amhara. The war in Amhara is unnecessary, unwarranted. Let me analyze this a little. Westerners, Americans mediated Pretoria. So, did they ask Abiy to disarm groups in Amhara? I would disagree with this Savuki here. I would say that Abiy was more than willing to disarm Fano fighters last year after Pretoria. Why? Because he had managed to uh, make TPLF agree to disarmament. One challenge, one threat from Tigray he had managed to neutralize. Second threat was likely to come from Amhara. He decided to disband Amhara Special Force. No one forced him to disband Amhara Special Force. Did Americans ask Abiy? Did Europeans ask Abiy to disband Amhara Special Force? No. Maybe they were asking Abiy to disband, disarm Fano fighters. But no one asked Abiy to disband a regional force, Amhara Special Force. It was part of government structure. Abiy himself wanted to disband Amhara Special Force. Abiy wanted to disband, disarm Fano fighters. Why? Because he was seeing a threat from Amhara that one day these people could unite and they could obstruct federal government's decisions about IDPs, about status of Al-Qaeda, Raya, and in future there could be some armed threat from Amhara. That is why he launched the operation. I don't think they took to start disarmament Fano, but Abiy was more than willing because he had his own plans. So here I disagree with this ask. Thirdly, he talked about the alliance against Ethiopia. He said that this alliance is not against Ethiopia. Again, it's ridiculous to say that Sisi, Saseverki, and Hassan Sheikh met in Asmara, and it was not about Ethiopia. Everything there was about Ethiopia. They met there in Asmara to form a regional alliance against Ethiopia. Everyone knows that. What did they discuss, Arman? Did they reach any sort of agreement? Did you hear about any announcement of some agreements reached? Any announcement of economic integration? Nothing happened there. They just discussed how to counter, how to corner Ethiopia. Chief of Hamashian is not happy with my comments about Isas Work's interview. Come on, listen to me, let me speak. So everything in Asmara, which happened when the three leaders met, was about Ethiopia. But they won't acknowledge. Isas Worki, Hassan Sheikh, Al-Sisi won't acknowledge that. But they met to join hands to counter Ethiopia. So this is what Isas largely said about Ethiopia. And then he mentioned two main issues, which he believes are two main issues in Ethiopia. Firstly, ethnic federalism, and secondly, foreign agenda. Foreign players are involved in Ethiopia. And why does he mention these two issues? Because actually he wants to prove that Eritrea is free from these two issues. There is no foreign interference in Eritrea. There is no ethnic federalism in Eritrea. So it means Eritrea is better. That is why he raises these issues that Ethiopia is behind. Ethiopia is in conflict because of the ethnic federalism here and because of foreign agenda here. He talked about Sudan too, and he backed Al Burhan, though he said that Eritrea is neutral, but Eritrea is not neutral. We know Eritrea is training Sudanese fighters who are now deployed to eastern Sudan. And by the way, I know that Isas Afwerki and Al Burhan, when they met a few days ago, when Burhan visited Eritrea, the two discussed how to demobilize Eritrea trained militias after the war. War will end one day, definitely, in Sudan. So, what will happen after the war? Though the Eritrea trained Sudanese groups could be a threat to Eritrea. This is what Isas Afwerki discussed with Al Burhan. He told him that Burhan must have a plan about how to deal with these militias which are being trained by Eritrea. And Burhan announced that, not announced, he agreed with Isas that the militias trained by Eritrea will be integrated into federal forces, into the army in Sudan. So Isas says Eritrea neutral. Eritrea is not neutral. It is supporting Al Burhan. Now your turn. You can criticize me, you can agree, disagree, but I shared my take of his talk about Ethiopia. If a Martian saying your translator is Tigrean, correct me. Which part of his speech is not correct, which I meant? Samson Mehari joined too. I remember this name. Samson, I think he's been here for some time watching my views and news. Interesting question. Eratia Pearl of Red Sea says, Sajid, how do you think Abi will interpret the interview? I believe Isas sent a subtle message in an intelligent way. Well, basically, Isas is saying that don't trust TPLF. He's saying that war in Amhara. He's saying that support Burhan. He's saying that what you built, good, it's insignificant. What sort of subtle message is it for Abi? I mean, uh, nothing. What he said seems to be uh, of any significance in terms of reconciliation. Thank you, Samson. Eratia Pearl of Red Sea says, by the way, your translation is 100% correct. Thank you. Samson is leaving. Bye bye, Samson. What did he say about Russia, China? What he's been saying for years. You know that. He wants Russia and China to lead the world, to replace American dominance, Western dominance. He wants them to create a new economic world order. So nothing significant, I think he mentioned. Much of his talk is not new. I mean, the views are not new. A reiteration of what he has been saying in the past. Alula, which constitutional advantage you're talking about? Could you explain? Enemy says, enemy. By the way, Sajid, I am your loyal subscriber from Kenya for years. Now I have a secret point to tell you. Yeah, go ahead. If it's very secret, very confidential, you can contact me through Gmail. Maybe you should not divulge the secret here. SAJID 672000 gmail.com. You can contact me there. Blue says, how credible is the news of Egyptian naval presence in Assab? I heard about it, but I could not confirm. Maybe some delegation from Egypt visited Assab, but we don't know about permanent deployment of Egyptian navy there. Maybe some delegation visited. Michael Kidan says, you're 90% right. Yimane Siam says, you're very correct, interpret it. Ascol's important point I want to read. If you are going to be a dictator, at the very least, you should provide a better standard of living for your people. I agree. Though I never support dictatorship, dictators. But if dictatorship is inevitable and there is no other solution or other alternative, at least dictatorial government should perform economically. And by the way, these dictators, they always justify the dictatorship by saying that the country needs stability, that this type of rule will lead to stability, economic prosperity, and uncontrolled democracy leads to chaos. But Isaias Afwerki's dictatorship could not lead to economic prosperity for Eritreans. Blue says, who is stronger? All are fun. No? I did some videos on that last year, I remember, but a year has passed. Now we can compare Ola and Fano, I think. I'll do a video on that. Enemy says Kenya's chief of defense forces met with Ethiopian military chief 2 days ago to sign an MOU with Ethiopia after Egypt and Somalia. Yeah, I know that enemy. I think this meeting was about cooperation to fight terrorism and about other issues. I don't think that Kenya is interested in forming a strategic regional military alliance with Ethiopia against Egypt, Eritrea, and Somalia. It does not make sense. LM says after Anthony Blinken's visit, almost the day after they announced disarming Fanwen or ASF. Well, maybe Americans asked Abiy to disarm Fano, but Abiy was more than willing. He was already ready. He had planned it. He wanted to crush. He wanted to disarm groups in Amhara. And this is what Abiy's head of intelligence agency said too. But no one told him to disarm Amhara special forces. Amhara Special Force was seen as a threat to Abiy's future decisions about Amhara, Tigray, etc. Actually, they have a military pact. You can research the only one in Africa, enemy says. Ethiopia and Kenya have a military pact. I don't know, but did this military pact play any role when Ethiopia fought against Eritrea in 1998? Was it signed after that? Did it have any effect, any role when war erupted in Tigray? Eritrea became involved. Kenya was nowhere to be seen. So, what type of military contract is it? Military agreement is it? How are you, Bashe? I'm fine. Because 32 minutes have passed, I think we should end the live chat. It was good to be with you. Today we covered just one topic. Isas his interview. What did he say about Ethiopia, about uh, Sudan, about alliance formed in Asmara, about Ethiopian dam? Tomorrow is the last day of live chats, Sunday, and then we'll resume live chats on Friday. Thank you for becoming part of this wonderful session. It was good to be with you. Stay blessed. See you tomorrow. So Rafal says, I think it's time to make a 5 ways to remove Isas Savoki from power video. I had a video about Abi, 5 ways about how to remove him. Okay, I'll think about it. If I can manage, I'll do a video on that. Thanks for watching. We'll see you tomorrow. Bye bye.